Make her regret leaving. No contact strategy, part 2. Hello everyone. If you caught the first part of my series on rekindling love with an ex-girlfriend, you would have discovered the most significant error that men often make when trying to implement the no contact rule. Additionally, I shared an essential message that you should communicate to her right at the start of this no contact phase. If you haven't had the chance to watch that video yet, don't worry, it's not a prerequisite for understanding this one. However, I will include a link to it at the end of this video. In today's discussion, you will learn several key points. First, what actions to take during the no contact period to make her miss you intensely and regret her decision to leave. Second, when it is appropriate to break the no contact rule. Spoiler alert, it doesn't have to be a strict 30-day timeline. Third, what specific words to use when you decide to reach out, which may differ from the advice given by many other coaches. And finally, perhaps the most crucial aspect, how to shift the power dynamics in your favor so that she feels fortunate to have you back in her life. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen, and welcome to Just the Tip. Now, let's dive right in. As you may have learned from my previous video, or will if you choose to watch it later, the first step in winning back your ex after a breakup is to adhere to the no contact rule, also known as the no contact period. This means refraining from any form of communication, including through social media or mutual acquaintances. This silence is vital because both of you need time to reflect and recalibrate your feelings. So, what should you focus on during this no contact phase? This leads us to step 2, addressing the issues that led to the breakup. There are two components to this process. The first is taking the time to assess where you may have gone wrong based on her feedback. A crucial point to remember is to only work on aspects of yourself that will positively impact your life, regardless of her influence. I cannot emphasize this enough. For instance, if she left partly due to your jealousy or insecurity, and you recognize that as a valid concern, then that's an area worth improving, not just to win her back, but for your own well-being. Have you neglected your job search or stopped going to the gym? Have you become complacent and lazy? That's not beneficial for you, and I can assure you of that. While it's natural to become comfortable in a relationship if you've let important areas of your life slide, it's time to make those improvements. You might be wondering how she will find out about your changes if you're not directly communicating with her or if your friends aren't relaying the information. Yes, you will want to share some updates on social media, but it's even more effective if your friends can post about you instead. Alternatively, practicing selective silence on social media can be powerful. If you were previously very active online and suddenly become less so, but the content you do share reflects positive changes in your life, she will definitely take notice. Even if she's not following your social media anymore, she will likely hear about your progress through mutual friends, but it won't feel forced or direct. If it comes across as too direct, she may become suspicious. One of the best strategies to send subtle messages back to her is through this approach. Imagine you're on a journey of self-improvement, and you're doing it in a way that feels natural and organic. One way to do this is by gradually distancing yourself from certain activities with friends, not because you don't value those friendships, but because you're focusing on becoming a better version of yourself. This might mean skipping a night out to hit the gym, study, or take a boxing class. It could also mean dedicating time to landing a new job or pursuing a hobby that brings you joy. The key here is that you're increasing your value in your own eyes, and that's a powerful thing. As I mentioned in a previous discussion, when you work on fixing the things that weren't serving you or your relationship, the person you're interested in will likely take notice. Not only will she be impressed by your growth, but she may also start to feel a bit concerned that you're out in the world, being single, and possibly attracting the attention of others. So, take this opportunity to upgrade your life. Try new things, learn new skills, and explore new interests. You might consider taking a class, going on a trip, or simply trying out a new look. These activities will not only boost your self-esteem but also increase your relationship market value. However, it's essential to remember that respecting yourself is crucial before anyone else can. You need to prioritize your own self-respect and self-worth. When you do this, you'll find that your feelings about yourself will shift, and you'll become more confident in who you are. Now, let's move on to the second part of fixing what was broken. This part might surprise you, but it's incredibly powerful, developing your own standards. This involves evaluating the relationship and identifying the things that didn't work for you. You'll start to think about what you want and don't want in a relationship. For instance, maybe you didn't appreciate the way your partner handled conflicts. Perhaps they would shut down or become overly critical. Maybe you felt uncomfortable when they were too flirty with others. As you reflect on these experiences, you can start to develop your own standards for what you're willing and not willing to accept in a relationship. It's essential to focus on fixing your own areas of growth before you start thinking about what you want to change about someone else or a potential future relationship. You need to work on yourself first, so you can build that inner self-confidence. This brings us to the question of when to break the no-contact period. You'll be ready to reconnect when you're genuinely willing to walk away if the other person doesn't meet your new standards. If you're not feeling that way right now, it's okay, you're not ready yet. If you were overly clingy in the past, you might be ready to break no contact when you can honestly say that you can live without the other person and eventually be happy without them. On the other hand, if you were closed off and aloof, you might be ready when you're willing and wanting to open up to others. As long as you're coming from a place of desperation or emotional unavailability, it's best to continue working on yourself. If you're not genuinely ready to engage in open communication and address the issues that led to the breakup, attempting to end the no-contact period will likely backfire. Without meaningful personal growth, you'll keep repeating the same behaviors that made her perceive you as low value. This low-value label isn't about superficial traits but reflects deeper issues like poor self-respect, which inevitably undermines how others view you. Think of it this way: attraction and emotional connection begin with mutual respect. If you act disinterested or emotionally unavailable, you signal an inability to meet her needs, which might lead her to question her own worth for staying with you. A crucial guideline: you're only prepared to reconnect when you've established 3 non-negotiable elements for a potential new relationship. 1. Clear standards, what you expect from a partner. 2. Firm boundaries, lines you won't cross. And 3. Defined consequences, what happens if those lines get crossed. The faster you commit to improving your life areas that needed fixing, whether it's career stagnation, emotional immaturity, or neglected hobbies, the quicker you'll reach this empowered mindset. Research on habit formation shows it takes between 21 to 256 days to truly internalize new behaviors, depending on consistency. Imagine training for a marathon: the more regularly you run, the stronger your neural pathways become. Similarly, consistent new actions, like daily journaling or therapy sessions, will gradually reshape your responses until they feel natural. Once you've genuinely addressed your issues and stand firm in your values, something remarkable happens: a natural power shift occurs. She starts recognizing that reconnecting with you would be a privilege, not an expectation. Consider this transformation like upgrading from a rusty bicycle to a sleek motorcycle. Suddenly she realizes she'd be lucky to ride along. When you do decide to reach out, avoid cliched approaches like "how are you?" or force nostalgia. Remember that cabin near Yellowstone. While some coaches advocate these tactics, authentic connections require sincerity. Instead, try a straightforward invitation that reflects your growth. Would you like to grab coffee and walk by the river? This shows confidence without gamesmanship. Remember, you're evaluating if she meets your standards now, not begging for validation. The timing matters too. Proper no-contact periods give her space to reflect on what she appreciated about you, recognize her own missteps, and perhaps worry you've moved on. Contacting her from a place of calm strength, not bitterness, disrupts her assumptions, similar to a chess move that suddenly flips the game's momentum. This isn't about controlling her, it's about ensuring she no longer controls your emotional state. When both parties come to the table with self-respect intact, you create the foundation for a healthier dynamic moving forward. Rekindling a relationship, a fresh start for a healthy partnership. When it comes to rekindling a relationship, it's essential to approach the situation with a clear understanding of what's required for a successful outcome. If you're looking to get back together with your ex, it's crucial to acknowledge that both parties must be willing to start anew and explore whether their expectations, boundaries, and standards are compatible. If your ex is an emotionally healthy individual, she will likely respect and desire you more if you demonstrate a willingness to grow and change. However, it's essential to remember that rebuilding trust takes time, and it's not something that can be rushed. You must be patient and genuine in your efforts to make positive changes. At this stage, there's no room for groveling or excessive apologizing, but a sincere and masculine apology can go a long way in showing your ex that you're committed to personal growth and accountability. It's essential to acknowledge your mistakes and take responsibility for your actions, just as you would want her to do the same. One critical aspect to keep in mind is the importance of maintaining a sense of self-worth and not needing your ex to complete you. This mindset shift is vital in helping your ex respect you and want to be back in a relationship with you. When you're in her physical presence, it's natural to feel a range of emotions, including those you may have experienced when she first left you. However, it's crucial to be aware of these feelings and not let them consume you. To avoid coming across as bitter or desperate, it's essential to treat your ex with warmth and respect, just as you would an old friend. This approach will help your ex feel the change in you and want to create a deeper level of intimacy. If you're successful in rekindling your relationship, your ex may feel the need to lock you down before someone else does, which could be a more suitable partner. If you're struggling to move forward and want to make significant improvements in your life, consider investing in a program like a Wake Up to Love. This type of resource will provide you with a step-by-step guide tailored to your specific needs, helping you become the best version of yourself. Not only will this help you become a more attractive partner, but it will also give you a sense of purpose and direction during a challenging time. Remember, rekindling a relationship requires effort, patience, and a willingness to grow and change. By following these steps and maintaining a positive attitude, you can rekindle love with your ex at a whole new level of amazing.